to awaken something, to change something, is through an illness, through a crisis, through these very big, strong, challenging life moments.
What happens when we die?
When do we die? It's amazing how debilitating that fear is while we're living.
How did you find your place here?
I didn't. It found me.
Some people wish that this Camino has like special powers. Is that true?
Sure. Yeah. Welcome to the Camino. Hans, my name's Sai, and we're here in the Labyrinth. It's a very special place, created with a couple of thousand quartz stones, and has been a powerful place of healing, amongst other things, with the support of this beautiful mother that holds us so well here in this space of ours. And really the intention of this place is to be able to listen to the earth and create a space for healing, for transformation, for connection. And this is one of the invitations and one of the vehicles for that, this beautiful labyrinth. So we've been here for over 10 years in this space, and accompanying, serving people on their journeys, particularly on their inner journeys. And that's the beautiful thing about being on this path and seeing thousands of people from around the world literally walking by, and every day the masters are coming and teaching. Most are not aware that they're actually teaching in that way, which is beautiful. It's humbling. And for me also, that's something how I really feel it in this place as we meet people along the way, and they come and they show and reveal to us some of the deepest part of ourselves, if we're really interested and alert. Yeah, I feel, especially after living on this path for over 10 years and having the blessing and the honor of being able to accompany people, walk with people, listen to people, share this space, co-create with people on the way. There's a few things that I think are really clear for me. The Camino, like life, we're looking for connection, deeper connection. And there's many ways that we find connection in all aspects of life, in our society, in our ways in our habits as well, in our choices. Sometimes those ways that we're looking for connection are not very supportive for our being, through substances or whatever kind of distractions sometimes that, and again, I don't have something against substances. I think it just invites us to understand what is our relationship with everything, with anything. So a substance or an activity or a choice in life is neither good or bad. It's just, I think it's very reflective of why we maybe choose something and then how we interact with it. So yeah, coming back to connection, I feel that that's what we're looking for. And why do anything? It's a really good question to ask ourselves. Why do anything? We don't have to do anything. These are choices that we make. So, we're gifted this life we're here and I'm breathing. And this is a miracle. And the fact that I can even just do this, like without thinking, and move my finger and across over here and touch something, is a supreme level of intelligence there in nature that I take for granted because I don't have to think about it. So I'm gifted this incredible experience of life. What do I want to do with this precious time? And I feel like it's a good question to ask myself, why do something? Like, why choose something? So the question for me is also, what invites me into deeper connection? And And often one of those vehicles is being able to journey with myself, with others, with life around. Um, and I realize also through others that there's, and these sharings and these lessons or teachings, and teachings that I receive every day from people who come past, invite me, and sometimes I'm receptive, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm in my mind and I'm thinking I need to do this and I need to get there, that's not finished, or whatever the story is. But so often people invite me into a deeper connection, whether it's through their gratitude, through a sharing, through a moment, through their openness, through their trust. And in those moments, so often, even through a practice that we might share, so often through those moments, it invites me to return to myself, to come back to that feeling of home, of connection. And I feel that that's where I feel most in the right place, or where the other peripheral things are of less importance. It's not that nothing else matters. Everything can matter. But there is a different perception and an understanding of what is really valuable. So this moment to me is really valuable. To share presence with someone is one of the greatest gifts. So to have the presence in this moment, and the awareness of someone else's presence, like yours in this moment, it's a great gift if I'm able to be here with it. Maybe I'm thinking about something in the garden or whatever, and things and thoughts arise, and that's normal. Nothing to reject. But it's a great invitation to return to that place, and in that place I find connection, I find presence, and in that presence I find bliss, contentment, I find healing. And it's not that I'm doing the healing or you're doing the healing. It's healing's just happening. Your well-being is just happening. Peace is just happening. Love is just there. I don't have to create it, look for it, make it. It's here, and it's always here if I can just bring my awareness to it and feel it and see it again.
What is that, this awareness? What is the divine? What is spirituality?
I feel it's hard to put that into exact words, because it's an experience, it's a feeling. And even right now I try to slow down and not rush to an answer, and okay, there's a camera recording, and part of my mind could be thinking, no, say something interesting or whatever. But it's much more interesting just to sit a moment and feel, and have a different, whatever the motion might be that arises, to welcome that, and to really lean into and find and feel the space also behind the words, behind the emotion, behind the feeling of this moment. It's an experience for me, and I feel there's some familiarity. It's not sameness, like the experience of the divine, or of the infinite, or of love, or of awareness. There's something very similar in those moments when I connect with it, when I feel it, but it's never the same. It's an intention to allow for that experience to arise, to be here, and at the same time to let go and to not try and force it. Because if I'm thinking, okay, I need to be aware, I need to expand my awareness, I need to feel the divine, then it creates a particular pressure, a particular energy that's forcing. There's a tension there in some way, rather than allowing that experience, maybe by the grace, by its naturalness, to arise. That's how I feel it. And I guess that's the real impetus, or the invitation, and often the impetus to awaken something, to change something, is through an illness, through a crisis, through these very big, strong, challenging life moments. So often they become the blessing. This is what you're saying. And
that's a very good way to describe that. Yes.
yeah, it's a lot easier to watch someone else in that. When it's ourselves, it's different. But I mean, I guess that's the beauty of having each other, is that we're great teachers for each other, or can be. And through other people's journeys, they really allow us to move more deeply, or more awarely, with more awareness, into our own journey. So when I know, for me, when I meet that challenge and that crisis, which happens plenty of times, then so often those examples have been people who have been in my life somewhere else, and those inspirations, and many people who don't imagine that they are. There's a person that I spend some time with, a friend who I accompany, and yeah, she had cancer. She has had cancer, and the same thing, a complete 180 in her life, moving from a very different focus in her life, and around a more the importance of status and the play and the materialism and consumerism, to going, whoa, who am I? And what's really real here? And what actually feeds me on a deeper level? And what's the purpose? Be grateful. Yeah, I feel when we're in that experience of gratitude, I mean, there's so much to be grateful for, even during our challenge, even during our unexpected, unwished setback in life in any moment. Something that I see, and I try to remind myself, but I constantly experience, is that when I'm grateful, I'm in peace, or I'm happy. There's an experience of happiness. And in that gratitude, we live a great life. And then I also remember there's less to go and get, to obtain, to arrive to. That it's here. It's already here. It's nothing that's missing, actually. Sometimes if it's easy to get confused and to think that the happiness is over there, and it's when I arrive and when I have that, and when I am whoever I want to be or think I want to be, then I will be happy, or then life will be great. We never arrive. I never arrived that way. And so it sounds so simple. And on some level it is. Just be grateful.
And what happens when we die?
When do we die?
Every moment.
So I think that's an interesting thing to consider. What's death, and how we understand death. In terms of leaving this body, let's find out. I think it's going to be exciting. But from some of the reports of those who left the body and came back, it doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, sometimes they lose the fear of death. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it's amazing how debilitating that fear is while we're living.
Oh yes, absolutely. People spend a lot of time, a lot of money for insurances.
And that's great. It's part of the play.
Yeah.
Remembering that it's a play. It's been really fun dancing, playing with you this morning. And I love how,
Thank
yeah,
you.
bless you. And on your way, thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Yeah.
Really, it's a great gift. And I love how, it's these invitations of something so simple like a banana on the table that allows these sorts of things to happen. And that's what that thing is. It's just an invitation for people to drop into something. Maybe they didn't needed a banana, and that's all, and that's great. And then so often something else happens with that banana.
But you spend your time also like you're coaching people, you're teaching people, you are, or not so much. Is that something you do regularly, or?
Yeah, yeah.
And you have a connection to India or not?
Yes, yeah. I've been there many times. I study there, and I go regularly. I'm going there in a month, taking some people there as well, like on a pilgrimage.
What kind of pilgrimage is that?
Yeah, in a pilgrimage, but journeying through the incredible vehicle that is India, that is such an amazing land and culture and tradition. It's a journey that we will undertake for a couple of weeks, a week in the north and a week in the south. So I've spent a lot of time in the Himalayas and the lower Himalayas. I've walked around there as well, and like literal physical pilgrimage in that sense. And yeah, so it's an opportunity to take people to some of these places and some of these people who have been so blessed to meet on my path. So yeah, I like to accompany people. It's great. It's a great journey. It's a great privilege. And the same here on the Camino. So it's often I walk with people a few times a year, and we take a journey, like a walking retreat, to call it something. But I really feel like it's something much deeper than that. We go on a journey, on an exploration together. We use some tools and some practices, yoga and meditation, but really it's the power of the circle, the power of the family or the group who comes together. And I love that because it's so alive, and it's interesting what we can touch together. And so that's something that's very important. Is they're journeys that are framed in a particular way, and they have particular phases of the journey. So we take some time to arrive, to set the container, set the intention of our journey, each as an individual, but also then as a group. And then we take to the path, literally, spending time in places that I know pretty well on the way. Sometimes on the Camino de Santiago, on the trail with lots of people, and sometimes into some other special places. And then we arrive to here, and we also have this time to integrate, with some ritual and to consolidate, and yeah.
Some people wish that this Camino has like special powers. Is that true?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I really feel it. Because there is a particular energy, because millions of people have literally walked this path with their prayers, with their intentions for thousands of years. Anthropologists also believe this, that people have been walking this same path for over 6,000 years, so before Christianity. What happens when we all go in a similar direction with in some ways, similar intentions or prayers or purpose? There's an energy that's created. I mean, we can see that when we do that even in a project together. We come together, and there's a group of people, and we move in the same direction with some similar intention. A lot happens. A lot more happens when we go together than when we go alone. And in that way, I can really feel that on this path here, that it's paved by millions and millions of prayers and intentions. That energy goes somewhere, and that land holds it as well. And then there's another question is, well, why this path? And so it makes a lot of sense to me that there's a particular energy in the path pre-existing. Nothing's random.
How did you find your place here?
I didn't. It found me. Yeah. But I was walking the Camino many years ago with my mother, and close to here, I had a very strong experience and felt called. Yeah, so like a vision. Wasn't something that I was consciously looking for. It wasn't something that I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. Or I didn't walk the Camino and say, hey, the Camino is great and I want to live there. Not at all. It was like one journey amongst many other incredible journeys that I was doing at that time. I was spending some years on a motorbike around the world and doing some other pilgrimages. And so it was a journey that was very special for me because I shared it with my mum. But close to here, I had this particular experience that called me, and I came back to check it out. I wanted to know. I didn't want to have this feeling of, well, what if I should have, or I could have, or was that real? Or so I honored that call, came back a couple of years later and felt into this place and asked, asked to put my intention in the waters here and let go of it, and asked for, and I guess tried to really, with the intention of opening and allowing life to flow through me. It was a feeling. It was an experience that they arrived to a particular place, not, like I said, not looking for something, not imagining something, not wishing something. And it was an experience that I just felt. It just felt very clear. So when I say a vision, things didn't change colors, and I didn't fall backwards and receive a light from above. It just was a feeling. It was a feeling that I was in a particular place and I could see something. I think what's interesting for me in that process and in this experience is that it was the impetus, it was the calling for something else to happen. So that experience and where that was, even though it's not specifically right here, it's very close to here, it brought me to here. And part of that receptivity and allowing was allowing life, spirit to take shape. So if I was just fixed on this, okay, the vision is this, and it's very nice and neat, and it's a healing space, and there's therapies, and it's in the place where I had this experience, well then where we are now and this probably wouldn't exist, because I would have been so focused on the mentally on the experience of like, it needs to be like this, why isn't it happening, but what's this meant to be, how long's it going to take, all of these doubts, all of these fears, all of these challenges on the way. It wasn't something I just turned up and someone said, oh, here's the keys and go for it. No, there's a big journey in between. A lot of things I had to learn, a lot of fears I had to traverse or enter, a lot of trust that I needed to encounter on the way and find in myself and in life. And that continues today. It's not also something that I just, okay, here's the line in the sand and I stepped over and okay, job done and now enjoy. No, it's a practice. It's an alive journey. And so that was one of the key learnings on the way, was around receiving the vision, the guidance, the inspiration, the call, whatever the words we might use, but then also allowing it to flow through and allowing it to flow in its own nature. And I think sometimes that's something that where we get stuck, because this way of control and wanting it to be and thinking it needs to be a particular way, in the end can so often prevent us and stop us from realizing something great together, like with life, with spirit, and that life is asking of us. Start small. Start small. Start now. Do something today that supports our trust. And I think it's a great journey to take with ourselves. So often we think about trusting is trusting someone else. And that's often one of the reasons why we struggle to have trust, because we feel our trust was broken. And it's not about someone breaking our trust. It's about deepening our trust with ourselves and I feel like starting on that from that space is very powerful and very important. And it's taking responsibility ourselves. So not just giving the trust away to someone else. It's very important that we can build this inner trust, and it's a journey. It's not something that just happens and then, oh, all of a sudden I have trust, and I have trust with myself. No, this is something, I have doubts. I lose and I forget. I lose trust. Yeah, so it's a practice. I think also just being aware of it helps a lot. So sometimes I don't need to actually trust. Sometimes it's just saying that I'm not trusting invites me to naturally deepen in trust rather than having to force trust.
Thank you.
Thank you.